right, Eddie. And we really, really need to deliver big time this time. You know, it's going to be a very important race, not only for Cindy and for the Constable's office and for the county, but for all of us. Many of us have been around a long time, right, Ms. Vara? A long time. That's right, Ms. Vara. Yes, Ms. Vara. And some of us are just tired of Latinos being thrown under the bus every time the day after the election. That's right. Because the first thing everybody says, well, you know, they lost because they didn't do this, they didn't do this, and didn't do that. But this time, we have a candidate that there's no reason for all of us to get out there and work and work and work to make sure that this time we prove them all wrong, because not only do we have the best qualified, the most honest, high integrity, strong on ethics, can hit the ground running day one, but us, and that's Cindy Vara-Leija. Yeah. Yeah. You all know that I too have been around a long time. In fact, this last 3 years, I could be packing tonight to go to Orlando tomorrow morning for the Vallejo conference. But I want to take the time to come here tonight because it's important. I've been all over the country. I've met many elected officials throughout this country. There's about a little over 6,000 Latino elected officials in this country, 41 out of our 50 states. I've seen them all, older, younger, widows like me, widows, you know, darker, from Hawaii, from Alaska. I think I know a leader when I see one, and guess who's a leader? Right here. And I think that what we need in county government, what we need in that constable's office, is someone, frankly, who can see the need for change and has the guts to do it. Right. Right. And Cindy Vara-Leija has the guts for that change. So your presence here tonight means a lot. But you've got to get your friends mobilized. You've got to get all your comadres, compadres, your friends, your colleagues. I always tell everybody, ladies, call the old boyfriend. I don't know. Or guys, you can call the old girlfriend. But the truth is, we're going to need a lot of help because it's a runoff election at the end of July when nobody's thinking about elections, when everybody's thinking about whether or not they could have afforded that holiday or they want to go on a holiday. So it's going to be a low turnout race, so it's going to depend on who gets the votes out. But it's going to be easy, because anybody who has to ever sell anything knows that you've got to have a good product, and we do. You know, Cindy has been there, you all know the story already. She's a captain. When you compare her to the other side, you know, yes, I know he's been a reserve for a long time, but I think in actuality he's been on the job, hired by someone for maybe like 3 years. Right. You can't compare that. So you either want someone who's been on the reserve waiting, or someone who's been on the ground doing it. That's the difference in this race. So please, I really just nearly beg you to get out there, come do the phone banking, help us walk, help us make the phone calls.
Raise money.
Raise money.
Yes.
Do what it's going to take, because we can win this thing.
That's right.
But we have to believe it, and we have to know it, and be out there to make sure that Cindy gets the help she needs. So, my friends, the next constable in Precinct 1 in Harris County, Cindy Vara-Leija.
Thank you everybody tonight for coming out. And I really was worried because the weather was bad, and this morning it started raining. And I told Laura, she goes, "It's raining." I said, "Yeah, but it's good luck when it rains on your birthday." And she goes, "Really?" I went, "I don't know, I just made it up." But it is. We have a great turnout. We do have a great turnout. And you all know my qualifications, my experience, and my knowledge. There's no reason to go back into that. But I'm not a politician. I'm a public servant. And I learned from my brothers. I learned from my parents. And I don't know what's going on, why we can't get the Hispanics out to vote. Is it a generational thing? Maybe it is. I remember going with my mom and dad when we went to go vote, and my brothers went, and we'd get behind the curtain with them. I remember going with my mom to sell poll tax, and people were like, "Oh, don't bring that up. That's a bad thing to bring up." That's when they were trying to keep us down. I said, exactly, and that's what we need to be reminded of. And my mother and my dad, they knew that was the law and they followed the law. If it meant her going every evening to Jack's over on Lyons Avenue to set up her pink table, she sold poll tags. She won several trophies, right, Mom? Right. If they needed the information, she could give it in English and she could give it in Spanish. And that was over 50 years ago. And what's going on? We're still not getting our people out to vote, so we have got to get them out to vote. Even in this last election, I knew of 3 people that promised me they'd go vote, and something happened. Guess what? They didn't go vote. This cannot happen in this election. This election is going to be decided on a handful of votes, very few votes. So we need to get everybody out. My opponent has deep pockets. They're paying for a lot of things. I don't have that, but I have deep passion. I have friends. I have family. We come from big families. We need to reach out to everybody, even those family members that live out of town. Send them a message on Facebook. They still have family and friends that live here in the Heights, or in Montrose, or in Woodland Heights, all over Precinct 1. So we really need to get a good turnout. July 23rd starts early voting. It's 1 week from 7 a to 7 p. And July 31st is the day of the election. We have until July 2nd to register to vote. I also ran across a few people that were not registered to vote, so we're working on getting them registered to vote. So I need everybody's help. The campaign headquarters is open. We also were told that we can use the union headquarters over off of Southland for phone banking. Sutherland to phone bank. So that's on the east side. So if you live on the east side, we can set you up over there. We've got the opportunities. We need to get everybody engaged. This is very important. Never again will we have the opportunity to change the culture in the constable's office. Constable May Walker reached out to me from Precinct 7. She's supporting me. There's no reason why we can't win this. And real quick, everybody knows my family here, so I can't introduce my family, so that'll take too much time. But I do have to introduce a couple of people real quick. And my daughter is in the back with my granddaughter. And she's scheduled to deliver on July the 8th. I have that on my calendar, but the doctor said any time now, so everybody keep your fingers crossed that it's July the 8th, okay? Nothing else on that, but July the 8th. And my husband here, John Leha. Yay! And my brothers are here throughout the crowd, so before I close, I need to introduce my mom, because without her, hey, none of this would be possible.
But before we start, with any of the appetizers, again, let's make sure, again, everybody, remember, it's so important that everybody get involved. It's so important that we talk to friends and family members. It's so important that we reach out to our co-workers. This runoff is going to depend on who gets to the polls. We have to make sure that Cindy is the next constable for Precinct 1. To join me in singing happy birthday to the next